Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining in to the last and final session on the workshop of ADSelfService Plus. My name is Jake, and I'll be taking the workshop today. If you have any questions, please put it on the chat at the bottom of your screen, and we will answer it as we go by. So today's topic is going to be a new feature which we introduced in the ADSelfService Plus. This is called the Password Policy Enforcer. If you do see today's topics, what I'm going to talk to you about are deploying the password policy enforcer from the product to your Active Directory and also to all the other password synchronizing applications like the Office 365, IBM AS400, Google Apps, ADLDS, and so on. I will also be showing you how to configure blacklisted passwords and how you can prevent users from using those blacklisted passwords. And while configuring that and while users are entering the passwords, I will also show you how to enable Password Strengthener and how Password Strengthener works with the ADSelfService Plus. I will also be showing you on how to customize the password policy requirements and also how you will enforce this on the AUDC and also the change password screen through the Control-Alt-Delete screen. So first, let's go ahead and configure the password policy requirements. So if you do see here, this is the admin console. Once I hit login, by default, the 8360 domain is configured. So let's go to the configuration tab. And the third option on the left is the password policy enforcer. So first I'll show you how the Control-Alt-Delete screen or the change password screen works. So if you do see over here right now, the password policy enforcer is not enabled. Just keeping you informed that the password policy enforcer will not make any changes to the Active Directory. This is just an additional password policy requirements which the user will have to meet, and this can be set up through the UI. You have additional rules, you have additional ways to add these passwords as well. This can be completely configured in the UI of the product itself. So I'll show you how the change password screen is without the Active Directory, without the password policy enforcer enabled. So I've created a user right now. His name is Roland. And if you do see over here, right now, this has nothing installed. So I'm going to go back and right now enable password policy enforcer. So once I enable this, the password policy requirements are minimum password must be 8, number of special characters that I need to include is 2, and the user must use both lowercase and uppercase, and also he must use numbers in his password. I'm going to uncheck this one, password policy palindrome, and also allow reuse of characters more than once and 3 consecutive characters for now. Okay, and most important thing, you need to check this option which says enforce this policy in the AUDC and the Control-Alt-Delete screen, which is the GINA and the password policy requirements. So I'm going to save this, and once I hit save, change password, and once this comes up, this will, if you do see over here, it displays my password policy requirements on the Windows native Control-Alt-Delete screen. So, and please do note the dash next to the password policy requirement. As and when I meet the requirement, it will come up with a check mark. So I'm going to type my old password, which is QWERTY #1, and I'm going to type the new password, say poll at 123. So if you do see over here, right now I've met 3 or 4. I'm going to show you what happens when you just meet 3 out of 4. It throws up an error which says that you haven't met a specific requirement. So I go back and I type the same password, which is QWERTY #1, and I'll type it as poll at 123 $. Met everything. Poll at 123 $. And once I hit that, it'll automatically change the password for me, and it says the user's password has been changed. So that's how change password works on the Control-Alt-Delete screen. Okay. So now I'm going to show you how change password works for any of the synchronized apps. Password synchronizer, take it in the previous module. By default, you know, on the configuration tab on the left, you have the fifth option, which is the password synchronizer, and I have configured Office 365 right now. The domain configuration's all been set. So I will log in and I will show you how change password works without the password policy enforcer and with the password policy enforcer as well. So I'm going to uncheck this one for now. Save the policy. I'm going to log in as an end user, which is Roland, and password, which is the one which we just changed, which is Paul at $123, and log in. Right now, I've already enrolled the user, hence it does not take me directly to the enrollment tab. I've enrolled through security questions, so I'm going to go ahead with the change password. Going to the change password screen. So this will, right now, the password policy requirements will be from the domain controller, and hence it will display the domain controller password policy requirements. I will just show you in a minute. And this is without the password policy enforcer enabled. So if you do see over here, this is the domain controller password policy requirements. So you can change this to the way you want it. And right now, this is taken directly from the password from the AD. So I'm going to give this as Paul at 123. If you see over here, you have two options, which is one is for your Active Directory and the other is for the synchronized Office 365 account, which is Roland at ramchan.info. So my new password is going to be land, L-A-N-D, at 123 and land at 123. So with the AD password sync, there is this feature where you can uncheck the Active Directories and use only the required synced application. This option is available in the policy configuration, advanced on the respective policy, password sync, and I've selected this option which says allow users to deselect Active Directory during a password reset and unlock. So coming over here, I'm able to do that. I'm checking this and I hit change password and it will help me change the password for that respective account, and it will display the message for that particular user account as well. So just keeping you informed that this shows the password policy requirements from the domain controller. Once this completes, I will show you on how to configure the password policy and how to customize the message on the password policy and how we can change that over here as well. So if you do see over here right now, it says that it's successfully changed and you're able to view that. And I'm going to sign out for now since I've changed the password only for my Office 365 and not for my AD. Okay, so my AD password still remains the same as the old one. So let's go back to the admin console and let's enable the password policy enforcer. And we'll see how this comes up in the reset password and the change password page. Both work the same way. So I'm going to enable this one. And as usual, as earlier, I'm going to uncheck these three options. And right now, I'm going to configure a blacklisted password. So if you do see on my right, prevent users from using these patterns. So I'm going to use patterns like QWERTY and 1, 2, 3, 4, and a third pattern, say for example, password. So users won't be able to use the option password. And this is going to be allowed in the reset password and change pages. So this is let's go ahead and customize the view as well to change it to the required way we want it. Instead of using this option, prevent the use of this pattern. Let's move this on top so that it's the first one, must contain restricted pattern. Let's change it, cannot use the restricted pattern. And I'm going to hit save and save over here. So if you do see over here, this is the password policy requirements, and this is how it will be displayed on the user end. So this is the one which we modified, which is for the preventing use of the respective patterns. So let's go ahead and save this policy. So now let's go. I'll show you how the reset password works on the Gina or the Control-Alt-Delete screen. So I'm going to lock the screen. And if you do see over here, this is the reset password and unlock button. This is because I've installed Gina on this domain controller. I'm going to hit reset password. And once I do that, I get the option of resetting password and unlocking account. I've enrolled a particular user using security questions, and hence it will authenticate me through security questions. So if you do see over here, I'm going to give my domain username as Roland and authenticate myself. This will authenticate to the respective domain controller as listed in the domain settings. And once it authenticates a user and verifies that particular user is available in the Active Directory, it will let me through. It will also verify with the product if the respective user has been enrolled, and only then it will let you through to the next page. So once we complete this, the next way there are three ways in which you can reset the password. I'll show you through Gina, and then I will show you how we reset the password through the Active Directory users and computers. What happens when you enable that feature as an administrator? Even if you reset the password, you will need to meet the password policy requirements of that particular user. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to set up my security questions. I've set it up. I'm going to answer that. Favorite color would be black, and favorite country, and 226 2GE. Black. Okay. 4GTI. And it'll verify my security question and answer as I've enrolled, and then it drops me up to the page where I can reset my password. So let me show you. I've selected both the Active Directory and the username. So let's say give up the username as I'll show you an incorrect username since we blacklisted. So I'm going to use QWERTY again as a QWERTY #1. Okay, and QWERTY #1, which if you do see over here while I am typing the message as well, the password policy at the bottom, you can see a color change. The color change displays the strength of the password which I'm setting up. The black means too weak. That's QWERTY R, and it goes to red, TY #1, where I met approximately 3. Let's say I'll change it to password at 1, 2, 3. So at 1, 2, 3, and let me enter the message, which is QD2 TRK. And let me hit reset password. Once I hit reset password, it says that I haven't met 2 special characters. I need to use both lowercase and uppercase, and also I cannot use the patterns, and it will show the pattern which I cannot use. So right now I can't use QWERTY 1234 and password. So let me give a correct password right now. I'm going to give it as role at 123 hash. Right now, if you see, the password strength is green, and I'm going to give that role at 123 $, and let me enter the HES TFR, which is the captcha, and once I hit reset password, it will reset the password for both the accounts, which is the Active Directory and also the required synced application, in this case, which is Office 365. So once it resets, I'll show you how we change the passwords in the Active Directory users and computers. A little slow today. Sorry. Okay, so once it completes, it will display that it's changed for both the Active Directory and the ADUC. Since it's a little slow, I will show you once it completes. In the meantime, let's enable another policy which says enforce this password on Gina Control-Alt-Delete screen, which I showed you earlier, and now it'll also enforce it on ADUC password resets through the password sync agent. So the password sync agent is an MSI file which will be available inside the installation directory under the bin folder. So if you do see over here, this is the MSI file. This needs to be installed on your primary domain controller and any other writable domain controller. So when a change password is done on the Control-Alt-Delete screen or through the Active Directory users and computers, so the password sync agent can pick that change and then help in the change of reset or block the reset if it does not meet the password policy requirements as set in the product. So I'm just coming back to that Gina. If you do see over here, since it's completed, I've changed both the user and the password for both the accounts. Okay, and let's go inside. Okay, I'll show that to you in a minute. So once you enable this, once you install this, you will be able to do that. Let me come back to the admin console and enable this policy, and I'm going to have the QWERTY checked again. So let's save that policy. Okay. And let's come back here. Okay, so I'm going to type the new password. Okay, I'm inside, so let me reset the password for that respective user. For example, Roland. I'm going to go with the new password, say QWERTY again. QWERTY, let's use the forbidden password, QWERTY #1, QWERTY #1. Just making sure that both are the same. It will verify, it will check and it says that I don't meet the password policy requirements as set in the product. So if you do see over here on the right bottom corner of my screen in the notification tray icon, that is the password sync agent. This green icon, that's the password sync agent. So in case you're changing server, you would use the edit server settings to start and stop the password sync agent. You will be able to do that. Right now, if I check the server status, it says that server status is live and it's running. The server is running, and hence I'm not able to change the password. So let me change the password again to something different. I'm going to change it as Jake at 1234 and percentage. Checks again, making sure that if it meets the password policy requirements, and I have not. Let's try that one last time. And it says I've reset the password. The last time I gave my password as Jake at 1234. Again, 1234 pattern becomes a restricted pattern, and hence I used 12 and symbols after that. And now I was able to reset the password. Okay, so this is how change password policy enforcer works on the Control-Alt-Delete screen, works on Gina when you're resetting your password, or normally on the change password screen. So this password policy enforcer will be available for the Active Directory username and password, and also for the synchronized applications that you've synchronized with the product. So with this, I have completed the final workshop for the ADSelfService Plus, and if you do have any questions, do put it up on the chat, and we will answer them for the next few minutes, or we will also take it offline and we will answer your questions immediately. And post this session, you will be invited for a short survey through email. Please do take the survey and let us know how it was, so that when we organize the next workshop, we will be excited and we can make the required amendments and take it from there. So and if you do have any feedback regarding what specific topics that you like us to take in the next workshop, you can also mention that, and we would take the workshop for those specific topics as well. Thank you for your valuable time today, and have a great day.